I just want to show you a really quick overview of the Edsby environment from a parent's perspective, just in case you're wondering exactly what they see and or have some questions from them coming. Very similar to your environment, and it's almost identical to the student environment as well, but they will handle their own logins. So if they don't know, if they call you saying, I don't remember my username and password, that's actually set up by them, and we don't control or have any access to that at all. So we can't help them with that. But there is a forgot password tool built right into the site that they can use. This is my demo environment, and this is just a demo credential for an account that I already have set up for a student. So again, it would say GSCS. This is a generic high school. That would say your school. On the left-hand side, it will say her students. So she only has one child in the division, Andrew, and these are all of Andrew's classes. If they were to want to put in an absence, they could just click on absent today on the right hand side. It will automatically pull up their student's name. If they have multiple students, I'm sure that would be a drop down menu. Reason, they can select from any one of these. Illness, comment if they want, and send that to school. And that's all it takes. If they want to schedule an absence for a future date, they can click schedule an absence for a future date or a range of dates and pick that as well. So I can do a whole week, give a reason, medical appointment, which seems odd, sent to office, great. Perfect. So you might get a question as to how do I know that that's been submitted? Well, they would see on the top right or left-hand corner, they would have messages, and it says that the absent request that was submitted has been submitted. So they do have confirmation that they have submitted it at a very specific time and date with all the information, and it's submitted. So the office would receive that, and they would have access to that. So that's the absence manager for the parents. You would also see anything that is scheduled in the classes, so and the recent activity. So in this scenario, I've allowed for both these teachers, the parents are able to see the things that are posted, but they're not able to see any of the comments. So for example, this Mr. Galler added a test for today. They could, I guess, like it, just like a Facebook post, but they wouldn't be able to see any of the comments that myself or the students have typed into it. They would also see a calendar of events, and as well as anything that's overdue. So for example, this one is overdue, this entry slip. I can click on view more, and it basically just says January 31st, this entry slip, 3.4 entry slip was due. It's under the unit 3 factors and products, and it's out of 10. So that might be something that they want to use to follow up with their children. As well as if there's anything scheduled today, it would pop up here. But now for their students' work. So let's say the English Language Arts 10 class, they want to see how their student did. So they would hover over the class and they would click My Work. The top left-hand corner kind of shows, obviously, it's their student. There's no incomplete assignments. There's no upcoming assignments. There is one that's ungraded. So that's one that the teacher has not either shared the grade yet or graded. But there are 13 graded assignments. This graph gives you a really good visual. Right away, I would probably say, oh, this French project might be something they want to look at. You can click on the assessments, and it gives a breakdown of every one of the assessment and tells you which assignment has yet to be graded. It'll also show you all the outcomes. So this isn't a class specific outcome. This is outcomes from all the different courses he's in. So you can see here through these indications as these have all been added to a course for his assignment. So I know those are outcomes that have been completed already. His attendance, you'd be able to see the attendance reported by the teacher, as well as previous report cards, which we don't really have any. If I click on the 13 graded assignments, it just takes me to my assignments tab, and this is all the information that the parent gets. If a teacher sends communication to a parent, it will show up in the mail. There's also an accompanying app. The app, I would say, is probably more likely going to be the area in which you're going to have more parents in. The app can be downloaded to any phone, and it operates in much the same way. They would be able to, I think, see a bright absent today or schedule absence button, be able to see the classes and kind of get an update as to their students' progress. When there is a report card available, it will also be in this environment. So they'll have to go into the environment, and I don't actually know how that looks just yet. But my guess is that there would be probably on the left-hand side somewhere over here saying report card for the class, or report card underneath the student's name associated with that student. So that's a little bit about the parent view. I'm going to log out and go to the student view. I believe I have that student, actually, Andrew. It is Andrew. Okay, so this is the student view. I've never loaded this up, so it might take a minute. That was fairly quick. So very similar. On the left-hand side, it shows all of his classes. There's two. You'll see kind of the notifications. If I click on that, it'll actually highlight what I have due. That's going to be overdue soon, so I can take a look at that. As you have seen, the overdue, you can actually click on submit. So maybe I have my entry slip. All I need to do is write a comment. I could make a video, take a picture. I could record audio. I can attach a file from my computer or link, etc., and just submit. And then once it's submitted, a teacher will have access to that. It gives the same indication as to the student as to what's due and what's available. Any groups they're associated with, it'd be the same thing. So they could click into a specific class. So here's my math class. You can see everything's laid out. It looks very similar to the teacher view. All these are automatically generated whenever I've added an assessment. You would see the list of assignments here and be able to submit. And once the teacher has access to that, they would be marked and they could go to their work. So I'm actually going to go to the student's view of their own work. Same as the parents. Hover over the My Work, click on it, and you'll see the exact same graph that the parents saw. Graph, assessment. You can see here that I've actually put in a mark where in the assignment I allowed for student submissions. So a student, I would have just said I will allow for an online submission, but I may have received this in class and I may have just given a mark. But he could just attach either a video, an audio, or anything to that submission as well. This could be a creative tool in allowing your students to record their audio or video telling you about their experience with any particular project. Some really good formative assessment and feedback tools. You also have the ability here to ask a private question. So let's see. He bombed one of these. Let's see. Final exam. Ask a private question on this exam. Sorry, that doesn't pop up. I have a question about, this is where I would type in, please help. I don't understand this mark. And send that in. Okay, and so you'll see that I've added a grade. And then the comment, so that comment will be visible for the student as well as the teacher. So I'm going to log out of my student view and go to my, go into the teacher view. And I should have a message. Nothing in there. Okay, so right here in my grade book, final exam, I've added a grade, and so it pops up just like this, and that's where I could kind of have a discussion. I could click on the exam itself and go to Andrew, and I could add some additional information here, or I could also just go back and maybe create a video, send him back a note, send him some additional information or a link to any resources I wanted to. Please see me after class. and that would kind of follow up. Again, there's a record of everything that's been written. So in case there's anything we need to follow up on, we do have a record of that, which could be helpful. And that's a little bit about what you would see on all three, the teacher side, the parent side, and the student side of things. The only thing I can't show you right now is what the final report card would look like for that student. Andrew, this is where I would have to add this in. Right now, he would be at 95.3, so I have to override that as a 90, let's say 96, because of other circumstances. I was able to use my professional judgment, and that's what it was. Consistently, always, responsibility. And you will have a comment bank. We're just working on that right now. We don't have access to that. And we can actually even preview what it would look like. This is actually going to be changing. It will look different. We have a newer version coming out. So you'll be able to see all that with his overall marks, etc. Hope that was helpful for you.